Hey, what's up guys? Josh here, Momentum Productions. Today we are going to be doing a live GLIDECAM training workshop. Let's go ahead and wait for some people to tune in here and we can get started on showing you how I prep my GLIDECAM, how I fly it, how I run, walk, do all the good stuff with it, and we'll be able to answer questions live. So let's wait for a few people to tune in here. I'm going to grab my GLIDECAM. Let me tell you the model that I'm using right now. This is the Lang infused with the Wieldy stabilizer system. So what I did here, I took the head assembly from the Lang system. I took the sled system from the Wieldy. I took the pole from the Wieldy, and I took the gimbal from the Lang, and I put it all together. Alright, so that's the stabilizer I'm using now. Literally every single GLIDECAM video that I put out, I get a question on what stabilizer I'm using. So this is a custom made stabilizer using Lang and Wieldy parts. Okay, so some people tuned in. Hello, hello. What's up everybody? So okay. Alright, so the camera I will be using today will be the Sony a7R II with the Zeiss 24-70 lens. So I'm going to get that ready for you. Okay. Now, one of the first tips with a GLIDECAM, you want to make sure that you're balancing your camera the way you want it set up. Alright. Alice, your question is, hi, I have a small Immorden S40 for my A6300. Are the larger, thicker GLIDECAMs more stable? The shaft on mine is thin. No, because I'll show you right now. The shaft on mine, or the boom pole actually, it's fairly thin as well. It's probably just as thin as yours. That doesn't matter. That doesn't mean it's going to be more stable. When you're talking about stability, it all has to do with the gimbal itself, the bearings on the gimbal. So that's what defines a gimbal as steady or stable. Can you make a video on how to use all Mavic Pro controller with all its flight modes and cinematic shots? So, okay, that's kind of not what we're talking about today, but I'll answer that question anyway. So on my channel, I already talked about the major flight modes in the Mavic, like cinematic mode and tripod mode. Those are the top two flight modes that you should know. Active track and all that other stuff, maybe I'll do a video, maybe I won't. It's not my priority right now. I have other Mavic Pro videos that I have to get done. But yes, I will definitely, when the time comes, I will definitely do those videos for you. Jatin, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Hi, I'm a big fan of your page and I've learned so many things from you, but I want to learn more, but with you. Can I and how? Yeah, so I offer Skype training sessions. So private message me, email me at info@capturethemomentum.com and we can get some private training sessions in via Skype. So yeah, info@capturethemomentum.com. That's my email. Email me and we can talk about some private training stuff, okay? Alright, so let's go ahead and go back to the GLIDECAM here. I'm using a Sony a7R II with a Zeiss 24-70. Best tip right now, before you start balancing, remove any sort of straps, any sort of items that might flop around, okay? Notice how I don't have any straps on my camera here, okay? Make sure your focal length is set to what you want it to be before you start balancing, okay? I want to shoot wide, so I'm going to shoot at 24 mil, okay? Chorus Films, Rajan Rai, hope I'm pronouncing that right. Is it possible to use a line GLIDECAM and Ursa Minicam by adding some weight on it? Yeah, I'm sure it's possible. I haven't tried, I don't have an Ursa, so I can't really tell you, but these GLIDECAMs can hold up to about 14 pounds. All right, 14 pounds. All right, let's get started. So first off, I'm going to remove the quick release system from the GLIDECAM. I'm going to mount it onto my camera. Alright. So I'm going to loosen up the tensioner here. Safety notch. Boom. Quick release system comes off. Now notice, I made a video on this. Notice the Velcro. I put Velcro on here to stop the camera from slipping if I make abrupt pans or moves. So we had another question coming in. Do you have a tip to avoid that gimbal shifting side to side on its own while moving? Yes, I will cover that today in this live stream. Can you do a hyperlapse with a GLIDECAM? Yes, you can. Are you asking me to do one for you, or are you asking me if it's possible? It's definitely possible. It just does take a lot of practice doing so. So we're mounting the quick release system onto the camera. Make sure you have some sort of rubber or Velcro to prevent the camera from slipping around. Okay. Now your quick release system is your lifeline for your camera, so you want to make sure it's extremely tight. Just don't bust the thread inside of your camera, but just make sure it's tight. If you shoot upside down and it gets loose, you're going to be in trouble. Alright, so here we are. Quick release system is tight. Film School 101, always keep a quarter around. A quarter is a great little tool that allows you to tighten up these screws, so have some quarters laying around, maybe in your camera bag. You would be surprised how versatile a quarter is. It's thick enough so it won't bend, and it's wide enough so you can have a pretty good grip on it with your 2 fingers. So quarters are a great way to help tighten up screws. Alright? Next, we're going to go ahead and mount the camera. I'm just going to put it at some random settings since I don't know how to balance it, since I don't know what the right balancing setting is on it yet. So let's see here. So what's unique about this head assembly is that it has a gear system. So I turn this knob and it allows me to make fine-tune adjustments. So I'm just going to put it at a random area. Next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to spread out the wings. So why do I spread out the wings on my GLIDECAM? If your GLIDECAM has this feature, it actually gives you a better, how do I say it? It gives you more tension when panning. So these wings, the way they're designed basically like 2 arrows. And what it does is it helps with the panning inertia. It makes it a little bit tougher for you to pan. Not that it is tough, but it makes it more stable when panning. That's the better word for it. So I like to spread out these wings. Okay, spread them out as far as they go. And they can actually help you out with balancing as well. Alright, here's another question coming in. Thank you, bro. You're the best for teaching Mavic Pro tips and tricks. Thank you, thank you. We'll wait for more videos on your Mavic. Alright, awesome. Thank you. Okay. Spread out the wings here. Yeah, stay tuned. I have more Mavic Pro videos coming out. No worries. Okay? Spread out the wings on the GLIDECAM. Next thing I like to do is to drop the boom pole. Okay? Here's another question. Lucas is asking, question regarding the counterweights. Always along the camera, same axis as the body, or to the left and right to the camera lens? Hope you get what I'm asking for. Okay, so that's a good question. So Lucas is asking if I like to keep the weights pointed in the same orientation as the camera. So see how the camera, how the weights are pointing towards you guys and not to the side? It's the same orientation as the camera. The camera is also pointing towards you. I like to keep it this way. If I had the weights set to this way, I don't get the same results. It seems a little bit wishy-washy. Maybe it's just me, but I've always been shooting this way. All right, that's just how I've always been shooting. So yeah, I hope that answered your question. All right, so let's keep going on with the video. Next thing I want to do, drop the telescopic boom pole all the way down. This gives us leverage, what I like to call invisible weight. And now we'll be ready to set our proper balancing on our camera. All right, it's getting really hot outside. It's really, In Los Angeles right now, it's really humid. So I got to get my water in. I'm gonna start sweating pretty soon. I can feel it coming. We had another question coming in. Question: if the stabilizer is balanced, how do you angle the camera down without holding the stabilizer on an angle? Okay, can you ask me that question once we have the system balanced? Yeah, ask me that question once we have it balanced, okay? And then I'll show you how. Alright, so here's our system. You see, this is how it's currently balanced. It's, you know, it's not great. So the first thing is, what I like to do, the first thing is to check the drop time. So the drop time test is a great way to determine how much weight we need on the system. So what we're gonna do, the drop time test consists of starting the stabilizer at a horizontal point, then letting go, and then counting how many seconds it takes to reach the vertical point. So our goal is hitting about 2.5 to 3 seconds. So that's how long it should take from reaching the horizontal point to the vertical point. So right now, let's go ahead and count how long it takes. Ready to let go in 3, 2, 1. 1 1,000, 2 1,000. Whoa, way too fast. So what does that tell you about our weight? If I let go and the camera flops down this way on the weight side, all the way down here really fast, that must mean that we have way too much weight on the left side of the stabilizer, on this side. Alright, way too much weight. Now if the camera flopped over, or if the stabilizer flopped over on the camera side like this, that would mean that we don't have enough weight on this side of the stabilizer. You see what I'm saying? So since we have too much weight on the left, let's start by taking away some of that weight. And the easiest way to do that before relying on the counterweights is to decrease the length of the telescopic boom post. So let's shorten it up, okay? We're gonna shorten it about halfway, and let's see what that does. All right, ready to let go in 3, 2, 1. 1 1,000, 2 1,000. Still a little bit too fast. It's about 2 seconds. We can shorten it, maybe another 1/2 inch. Okay, ready to let go. 3, 2, 1. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. See, it doesn't even reach the vertical point. It goes back up. So we took away too much weight. Let's increase the boom post a little bit more. Let's test it out again. Ready in 3, 2, 1. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Okay, so it doesn't. Let's try it again. 3, 2, 1. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. So that's about right. Now the reason why it's swinging back up is because we are not properly balanced on the top. So I believe that we have enough weight on the bottom. We have enough weight on the stabilizer itself. So tell me, guys, I want you to be interactive with this live stream. I want you to tell me what you think I should do when balancing, okay? So here's how my camera's balanced. It's pointing down. What do you think I should do? Okay, this is how it's pointing down. How am I going to fix this issue right now? Tell me in the comment section right now, and I'll do it. This is our trial and error process. I want you guys to tell me what you think I should do. So this is how our camera is balanced. What should I do? Move the camera back a bit. Okay, let's move the camera back a bit and let's see what happens, okay? So since our camera's pointing down, let's move it back. Boom, 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 boom. I moved it back. Let's see how it balances now. Okay, looks like we didn't move it back far enough. So let's move it back some more. Okay, it's getting better. Look at that. Look at that. Almost there, right? Do you think I should move it back some more? I think I should. Another good tip is to get a bubble level. Now they have little plastic bubble levels that you can get for your camera. It actually goes into your hot shoe mount. Those are very useful. And most quick release plates also have bubble mounts. So on top of this quick release system that comes with your stabilizer, buy an extra quick release plate. That way you can quickly remove your camera, put it on another system, then put it back quickly without even having to remove this quick release system, okay? So buy a quick release system. Those will save you a ton of time and then give you a nice feature of having a bubble level. All right, so does the camera look balanced? Take a look. It looks like it's leaning over to the left a little bit. So who can tell me what to do if the camera is leaning to the left? All right, for some it might sound a little condescending, but a lot of people who watch my videos are new to GLIDECAM, so try and have them answer this question. It's leaning to the left, what can I do? What can I do? Slide to the right. Okay, cool. So let's slide the camera to the right. Okay, so I'm going to loosen up the tensioners that release the lock from side to side. I'm going to move the camera to the right by using this knob. Again, each GLIDECAM is different with its adjustments. My adjustments are as shown right here. Okay, so I move the camera to the right. Let's see how it balances. Okay, looks like I moved it a little bit too much. So let's move it a little bit more to the left. Lock up the tensioners. A little bit more to the left. Now once you have your camera perfectly balanced, lock up all of your locks. That way if you bump into something or if you tilt down or tilt up, your camera won't move, okay? Let's see how it balances now. Wow, I think it's dead on center. Look at that. And for the hell of it, let's check the drop time test again. Ready? Let it go in 3, 2, 1. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000. That's about between 2.5 to 3 seconds, so it's perfect. We can also do the dynamic test. So hold the gimbal with one hand, right? And move it around. You see that? It's uniform. The camera doesn't move ahead of the weights. It stays in line, right? See that? Actually, it looks like it's a little bit, looks like the weights are moving ahead of the camera. So what happens if we, so what do you think we should do? So it looks like it's not moving uniformly with the weights. So it looks like the weights are wobbling a little bit, just a little bit. So what do you think we can do to eliminate that? What do you think we can do to eliminate that? All right, so let me back up and let me move the GLIDECAM a little bit. You see that? How it's moving not uniform with the weights? I think that's the issue with a lot of people's stabilizers and why they see that weird swaying effect. I'll tell you right now how you can fix that issue. It all has to do with your boom post. Okay? All has to do with your boom post. So let's shorten it and see what happens. Let's move it around. Okay, not right. Let's drop it down. Let's see what happens. Nope, still not there. What happens if I drop it down some more? Nope. So let's shorten it. See, it's a whole trial and error process, guys. All right, let's do it again. Oh, there it is. We got it. It's perfectly uniform. Just about. Maybe I'll drop it, or actually lower it a little bit. There we go. Let's see how it does right now. The dynamic test is actually a great way to determine perfect balance. Maybe a little bit more. We lost balance a little bit, probably because I didn't tighten up the tensioners well enough. Okay, make sure everything's tight, guys. Let's drop it down a tad. So trial and error process until we get it perfect. I think that's pretty good. All right, so we have a balanced camera now. All right, see, now it's getting really, really hot. All right, so now, since we have the, you guys tell me, what do you think? Do you think that this GLIDECAM is balanced? All right, Look how it moves. Uniform. It's very uniform. The camera is not going ahead like this, and the weight system is not going ahead like this whenever I'm doing those dynamic moves. So once you think you have your camera balanced, after you do the drop time test, after you look at the bubble level, do the dynamic test. Take your camera and move it around. Move it around. And see how it behaves. If you notice that your camera is slightly ahead of the weight system, or if the weight system is slightly ahead of the camera, you'll know that the dynamic balance failed. And a lot of people ask me on my videos is they have swaying issues with their camera. And the dynamic balance is a great determiner, that's not even a word, determining factor. It's a great determining factor that will let you know if you're going to have those swaying issues. The dynamic test is crucial. And I think I kind of left that out in some of my videos with the dynamic testing. But I'm letting you know right now that it is a pretty important part when you are using a GLIDECAM. See that? My whole GLIDECAM is uniform. The camera is not going ahead of the weight system. The weight system is not going ahead of the camera. Uniform. Uniformity, guys. It's moving like a stick. A stick that's perfectly balanced and has a perfect center of gravity. All right, let's see if we have any questions here. Chorus Films is saying, some company has manufactured the second grip handle is like a second grip handle. So basically there's two handles instead of one. That's interesting. But the problem with that is that you need your second hand to be focused on the movements of the panning and on the controlling the gimbal. Okay? What other questions do we have here? What if you need to flip the screen? Okay, great. So now we're getting a little bit more complicated with everything here. Okay? How was the feed of the video? You guys seeing everything clearly? Everything is good? I hope so. All right. So this is a Sony a7R II. Watch what happens when I flip out the screen. Okay, we flip out the screen. What's going to happen to my balance? What do you guys think is going to happen? So we're flipping out the screen in the back. So we're kind of adding weight in the back of the system. Okay? We're adding weight in the back of the system. Watch what's going to happen after my screen flipped out. What's going to happen to my system? It's going to slightly lean back. Now, what do we do? What do we do in that situation? If we have the camera slightly back, what do we do, guys? You guys already know the answer. Let me see it. Let me see it in the comment section. What do you think we do in that situation? If we have the screen out and the camera's leaning back. See that? Slide to the front. Absolutely right. So we loosen up the tensioner and very gently slide the camera. We're talking about very small amount of weight added to the back. Tighten up the tensioner and let's see how it is. Boom. It's actually, I pushed it too forward. Let's push it back a tad. Boom. Camera's balanced with the screen flipped out. Now watch what happens when I push the screen in. Okay? What's going to happen now? The camera is tilting forward. So we're removing that weight from the back. Okay? What if you need to press a button when shooting? Okay, that's simple. Let me fix the adjustment here. Now, again, my GLIDECAM has these little markers on the side, so I can remember my settings easily, so I can quickly rebalance just by looking at the markings. If you don't have those markings, take a pen and mark it. Put some tape on here, mark on the tape. Okay? Alright, so let's talk about the record button really quick, and then we'll talk about angling the GLIDECAM and the camera and all that other good stuff. So, alright, so I have a subject here I want to film, right? How do I press the record button? Hold it. Record. Let go of the gimbal. Boom. That's it. That's it. Okay? That's all you got to do. Hold it. Your left hand is very useful, so use it. Next question is, how do you angle the camera down without holding the stabilizer on an angle? So you have two ways of doing this. You can actually move the quick release plate forward like so. I would never suggest doing this, but if that's what you want to do, you can do it this way. That's all you got to do. You move the camera forward, that's it. And then you just support it from swaying with your other hand on the bottom. And that's how you create those beautiful smooth pans. But I don't recommend doing it that way. I recommend holding the GLIDECam and angling it down, because you're actually going to get even smoother shots, because that's how the GLIDECam was meant to be balanced. So let me rebalance it really quickly. Okay, it's balanced. Now, I like to angle it down when it's properly balanced upright. Hold the bottom of the system, and you'll be able to create beautiful, beautiful 360-degree shots with the GLIDECam. Okay? And you're gently, gently, gently holding the system on the bottom. And you're only holding it so it won't sway and so that it won't, turn around and go back right side up. Okay? Let's see if we have another question here. Lucas says, I forgot my ND filter. Yeah, I did. It's really bright out, so I need one. What is a good stabilizer below $100? I don't know. I haven't looked at anyone that's below $100, but I'm sure some people are recommending the newer GLIDECam, just like Ruben. Ruben is recommending the newer GLIDECam for $70. So try it out. If people are recommending it, it must be a good one, right? Why don't you buy the Devon Graham GLIDECam? The only reason why I don't need it is because I already have a ton of these. There's no need for me to buy one. I also have two electronic gimbals, like the G-Win Crane and the Came TV Argo. I don't need any more stabilization systems at the moment. I have everything that I need when it comes to stability. So, and the Devon Graham system is excellent. A little bit pricey. It's around $700-800. For that price, you can buy a G-Win Crane, which is $650. So $650, $800, and there's a smaller learning curve with the G-Win Crane. There's definitely still a learning curve, but it's a lot smaller than using a traditional GLIDECam. But in my opinion, if you want to be a pro filmmaker, learn on the manual GLIDECams first, then move to electronic. Because once you learn how to properly move the camera on a gimbal, you're going to incorporate those same techniques on an electronic gimbal. So yeah, it's important to learn manual before automatic, just like driving a car. Learn manual before automatic, you're going to feel the car better, you're going to actually drive better. That's how everything goes. Because if you're going to be on a film set, most likely, most of the time, they're going to use a traditional Steadicam with weights and a gimbal. And if you know how to use one of those systems, you're going to get paid a ton of money because it's a skill. It's a very high-paid profession to be a Steadicam operator. And if you know how to use a GLIDECam, you're going to know how to use a Steadicam. So it's a very good skill to have. Chorus Films is asking how to take lower ground level shots. Excellent. So I made a video on that, but I'll talk about it anyway. Alright, so our camera is balanced up right. Now on this system we have an adjustable gimbal. Now what does the adjustable gimbal do? It changes the center of gravity. Now my friend over here was just asking, how do we shoot upside down, low to the ground? We have two ways. If your GLIDECam does not allow you to adjust the gimbal up or down, simple, just flip the camera upside down, hold the top with your two fingers up here to prevent the camera from flipping right side up again, and simply hold the camera like you would as if it was balanced right side up. That's all you got to do. Now, if your gimbal can move up or down, all we got to do is lower the gimbal just a tad, maybe half an inch. And what this does is it changes the center of gravity, making the camera top heavy. and naturally the GLIDECAM is going to flop over upside down. That's it. I don't even have to hold it. It's going to stay upside down. And now you can shoot low to the ground. Alright, so we're going to readjust the gimbal here, and there we go. It's right side up again. Okay, so it all has to do with changing the center of gravity using that gimbal adjustment. Next question is Final Cut Pro 10 or Premiere Pro? I use Final Cut Pro. I know how to use Premiere Pro, but I just like Final Cut since I can render things faster in Final Cut Pro. Hang the Empire. I like the owl in the background. Where? Oh, this one? Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Here's another question. If you didn't do the job you're doing now, what job would you like to do? I'm going to say... It's a good question. Probably engineering. Yeah, I'd probably do engineering. Next question here. Will you buy the GH5? I will not buy the GH5. I'm going to be buying my next camera. Will be the A7S Mark III from Sony. They're supposed to announce it in November and probably release it in December or January. So that's what I'm waiting for. That's what I'm waiting for. That would be my next camera. Did you already drop a camera on a GLIDECAM? Yes, I made a video on that as well. So basically what happened is this GLIDECAM, the quick release system, it's all metal. There's no Velcro or rubber on it. And what happened was I tightened my camera onto that plate without any rubber or anything like that, and it started to slowly unscrew and the camera fell off. Thankfully nothing happened. I broke a lens hood and all I had to do was glue it back on and everything was fine. But nothing happened to the camera or to the lens itself, just the lens hood breaking. And the problem is that some GLIDECAMs, like some of the cheaper ones, they don't have the rubberized Velcro, the rubberized anything. They don't have the Velcro or the rubber on the quick release system. And this Velcro is extremely crucial because what it does, it grips onto your camera. Same thing with rubber, it grips onto your camera. So even if your screws are slightly loose on your quick release system, it's still going to grip and it won't do those weird twists and it won't unscrew itself. So if your camera stabilizer doesn't have the Velcro or the rubber quick release system, put it on immediately. Put it on. Halvin Wolf, thank you so much for your donation, bro. I appreciate it. If you guys found something useful in this live stream, please, you can throw me a super chat. Donations to this channel are always welcome. It helps me provide new review videos by getting new gear and showing you guys what I recommend in filmmaking. Next question is, why don't you use a mic on the GLIDECAM? I do. I sometimes do put a mic on here. I have a Rode Stereo Video Mic Pro, and I put it on the camera. Yeah. Balancing is going to be the same. The top of the stabilizer is going to be slightly heavier, which means that I need to compensate with that by dropping the telescopic boom post just a little bit. Okay? So yes, I do use a mic every now and then on the GLIDECAM. Definitely, definitely, definitely. So for those of you who are just tuning in, if you missed how I balanced the GLIDECAM, rewind to the beginning of this live stream where I show you step by step on how to balance, okay? Ruben is asking, what lenses, what is with the lenses that get bigger while zooming or stuff like that? What do you mean? What do you mean they get bigger? Do you mean they get longer like this one here? So I zoomed in, the lens extends. I mean, that's how a traditional zoom lens works. I don't know if that's the question you're asking, but let me know. Any more questions, guys, regarding the GLIDECAM? Okay, so you're saying yes. So I made another video on this. I covered a lot of these topics already, but this is a live stream. I want to go over this with you live in person. So So let's say I want to zoom in, right? Boom, zooming into 70 millimeter. Would I ever really do this? Probably not at 70 millimeter. Maybe the max I would go is 50, but 70, let's just say 70. So we're pushing the lens out to the front. What do you think is going to happen with the balance? Please comment right now what you think the balance is going to do. What is this zooming in going to do to the camera? What do you guys think? Put it in the comment section. Let me see what you guys think is going to happen. So I zoomed out, right? There's something sticking out farther in the front of the camera. What is going to happen to the balance? It's going to make it go forward. Let's see if you're right, okay? Boom, look at that. You see what happens? So what do we do in this situation? We're adding weight to the front of the system, right? We need to compensate for that by pushing the camera backward. So just a tad, and we should be good. Look at that. Look at that. We can even push it back maybe a little bit more, another centimeter or so. Look at that. The camera is zoomed out and we're balanced. Okay? Now, let's zoom back in. What's going to happen? The camera is going to go flopping back because we removed that weight from the front of the camera. So let's readjust, push the camera forward a little bit, and we should be properly balanced again. Okay? So that's what happens with that type of stuff. Which is the best lens on the GLIDECAM? So I made a video on that as well. So a great starting lens with the GLIDECAM. I'll show you right now. I have it in my bag right here. If you're first getting into GLIDECAMs, a great lens to have is a wide lens. One of my favorite wide lenses is the Rokinon 14mm. It's a $350 lens. It's all manual focus, manual aperture, all that good stuff. And the footage that comes from it is incredible. Check out some of my GLIDECAM videos and you'll see for yourself. If you don't want a 14mm, because 14mm is pretty wide, you know, you see a little bit of distortion in the corners. 24mm is actually fantastic. I love the images I get from a 24mm. I think it's wide enough that you see a big picture and you don't get any distortion. Beyond, if you go farther back, like 22mm, 20mm, you're gonna start seeing a tiny bit of distortion, but 24mm I feel like is perfect. I actually just ordered a new lens, a 16-35 Zeiss, so that's gonna be awesome. Once I get that 16, I probably won't be using my Rokinon 14mm anymore, because the difference between 16 and 14 is very minimal. And I'll be able to zoom in and zoom out from ultra wide to mid-range. So that's a lens I'm really looking forward to getting. Hope that answered your question. Love it when you live stream. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Do you work with filmmaking full time? Yes, I do filmmaking. Oh, do I work with them? Do you work with filmmaking full time? Are you asking if I do full-time, if I'm a full-time filmmaker? Yes, I am. Yes, that's all of my money comes from filmmaking. And when I say filmmaking, I'm not saying making short films. I'm saying I work as a private contractor with different clients, shooting workout videos, motivational videos, music videos. I have a music video shoot tomorrow in downtown LA. Hopefully I'll be able to do a live stream shooting that music video so you guys can shadow me doing my work, and that'll be fun taking you there. Usually I don't have service when I'm working. It's pretty bizarre, but I think in downtown LA I should have service to do a live stream, or at least a behind the scenes video. Currently right now I usually release a video on Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. I don't have a computer at the moment. It's at the Apple store getting fixed, so that's why I'm doing these live streams more often now. I'm supposed to get my computer back tomorrow. Okay, what do you do? Some people say bend your knees, and some say don't bend your knees. So what are you doing? So there's a technique when walking Let me try and push the camera far back. Maybe back here. And when I walk with the GLIDECAM, let me tilt down actually a little bit so you guys see how I walk with the system. So when I walk with the GLIDECAM, I definitely bend my knees, and I definitely do heel to toe walking. Heel to toe, heel to toe, heel to toe. I have my whole body inwards, okay, kind of like a little ball. And I definitely bend my legs, because when you bend your legs, your knees act as shock absorbers. So you see those dampening arms that they put on vest systems to help eliminate some of that vibration? Your knees have that capability as well. So bend your knees and walk heel to toe, and you will see a huge difference in your footage. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Halvin Wolf, thanks man, I appreciate your comments, bro. What is your opinion for selling photos on iStock Photo and other similar places? Listen, I love it. That's a great source of income, or at least one of the ways you can get money. My tip, honestly, as an entrepreneur, you want to get as multiple sources of income. You don't want to rely on one client. You don't want to rely on that. I have income coming from YouTube, Amazon, clients, and selling stuff on eBay. But I can't really call that income. It's just like pocket money, selling stuff on eBay. So right now I have 3 sources of income: Amazon, clients, and YouTube. 3 sources. So if you can make money from the internet, you're basically making money while you sleep. That's what Amazon affiliates is. So you can become an affiliate with Amazon. You can make these videos on YouTube, monetize them. As long as they're good content, you're going to get views, you're going to get noticed. And working with clients. Those are all sources of income. Each year I try to add one other source of income until I'm going to try and get 5, at least 5 sources of income. That way, if one fails, you still have a stability of 4 others. And then if another one fails, you still have 3 more that are stable. So this is how you play it safe, being a filmmaker and being an entrepreneur. When I started out, I had a few other jobs. I was working for a company called Movies by Kids, where I taught kids between the ages of 6 and 14 how to make short films. So that was when I started my YouTube channel. That was the kind of work I was doing, and that was how I was making money in the beginning, and how I was saving money to get the equipment that I have now, or used to. Vinayak Akri, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Can you tell me more about metering? I don't know what you mean by that. Can you elaborate that, please? Halvin Wolf is saying, would love to see you shoot the music video. Awesome, yeah. I'm gonna try and get that live stream on tomorrow. My call time is 6 a.m. in downtown, so that'll be fun. We're shooting in an old warehouse, so that should be interesting. Okay, man, thanks a lot for your answer. Awesome. Tips on gaining multiple incomes. Freelance can be slow. So yeah, so freelance can be slow. Use the internet as another source of income. I feel like the internet, there's so much money coming from it. Now this whole new currency starting up called Bitcoins. The internet's is already having its own sort of currency. So like, the internet is a great way to make money. If you don't want to work a 9-to-5 job, find something on the internet. Become a mystery shopper. That's another good way to make some bucks. Yeah, mystery shopping is fun. I actually signed up to be a mystery shopper. And that's basically going to shops undercover and taking note of your experience and then reporting back to a company. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So definitely use the internet as a source of income. It's a lot easier than you think, as long as you do your research and you take your focus and just target it. Okay, that's what I'm doing right now, and it's working. Can you tell some settings for cinematography? Can you be more can you narrow down your question so I know what you're asking? That would be great. Thank you. Do you have any idea of being a contributor of stock footage agency like Video Blocks or Shutterstock, etc.? So I'm actually a contributor for Video Blocks. I haven't really uploaded more than 3 or 4 clips. I uploaded a few drone videos to Video Blocks. I don't know if they approved it or not. I haven't checked it out, but it's very, very, very easy. All you got to do is sign up. I think everybody gets approved. It's the footage that has to be approved. So yeah, do it. Videoblocks.com, and you can sign up to be a contributor. There's links all over their site where you can just click on and fill out an application. It's pretty simple. How did you get started with having filmmaking as your full-time job? How did I get started? That's a good question. Obviously I didn't start full-time. I started part-time, and the only way I was able to do that was if I got another job. I was actually working with I just mentioned it, I was working with a company called Movies by Kids, and I was teaching young kids how to make short films, stop motion animation, music videos, action movies, action shorts. So that was fun. And then I started buying serious equipment, and I just started doing a lot of free work, a lot of internships, and that free work got me paid gigs, and that's how I just started getting, you know, into full-time filmmaking. Israel is asking, is it a good idea to study cinematography in college? I think one course is okay. Should you major in it? No way. Studying film and doing it as a major, you're gonna most likely be unemployed when you get out of college, because it's the sad truth. No one is really looking for somebody with a degree in cinematography. But if you take one course, you get to learn cameras, you get to learn a little bit of lighting, and you get to work in a team. That's the most valuable thing I got out of taking a film course, was learning how to work in a team. And that's a crucial element if you want to be a filmmaker, because believe it or not, you're going to have to work with somebody else. Either it being a client or another camera person, a DP, a director. You're going to have to learn how to work in a team, and that's what a college course gave me in filmmaking, is how to work in a team. And yes, it sounds simple, yes, it sounds easy, but it's not. It's a lot tougher than you think, because you have to deal with egos and how to overcome them. And that's a huge technique, and it's a huge skill that you must learn. And college gives you that opportunity. If you can't, because when you're a freelancer, a lot of the times you're going to be working on your own. And for me, most of the time I am working on my own. It's just me and the client. But there are instances where you do have to work in a team, and college gives you that experience immediately. You don't have to wait around waiting to work in a team. They automatically put you working in a team, in a film crew. So that's what college gives you. It gives you that environment to work in a team, and that is a crucial element. And all you got to do is just take one film course. That's it. Just get a fundamental understanding of what it's like working in a team. That's all you need. Everything else you can learn on the internet. How to frame your shots, frame rates, picture styles, all that stuff, lighting. You can learn all of that on the internet. But you can't learn on the what you can't learn on the internet is how to work in a team. So that's where college kicks in and gave me that opportunity, and I learned a lot from that experience. All right. Woo! That was a big one. Let me get some water. How many seconds of copywritten songs can you get? Can you use without getting flagged? So on YouTube, when you upload a song to YouTube, there's an automated computer that, you know, watches the waveforms and tries to link it to any song that's been registered with copyright. And if you have longer than a certain amount of seconds, it can flag your video. What I've heard is 15 seconds. You can use copyrighted songs for 15 seconds before you get your video flagged. What I also heard is that even though the computer doesn't recognize it, if the copyright owner sees that you're using their content, doesn't matter for how many seconds, they can manually flag your video. That's what I've also heard. So I just stopped using any sort of copyrighted songs, and I just used I just started using copyright-free music. It's not worth it. If you make a viral video and it gets flagged, you're not going to make any money off of it, and that's not good. So try to stay away from copyrighted music if you can. Role of shutter speed in cinematography. Okay, that's a good question. So shutter speed has a lot to do with the amount of light that you let into the camera. It also has to do with how crisp and clean the images are. So higher shutter speeds are better for fast-moving subjects because you're quickly, setting that light for each frame with that shutter speed. But the general rule of thumb to get pretty clean images without getting any weird flickering from fluorescent lighting or anything like that is doubling up the frame rate. So if I shoot at 30 frames per second, it's a good idea to shoot at 1/60th shutter speed. If I shoot at 120 frames per second, I want to shoot at 1/240th shutter speed. Doubling up allows you to get those clean, crisp images. That doubling up rule worked for me. There's science behind it. You can read up on it on the internet. I'm not going to go too into detail with it because I don't have any diagrams to show you because I don't have a computer right now. But that's what it's all about. Just know the rule of twos, doubling. The rule of doubling, double your shutter speed according to your frame rate. But yes, it can affect your image quality. It can make things sharper. It can make things fuzzy. When you freeze frames, you can really notice what shutter speed can do. It's not only about the frame rate. It has a lot to do with the shutter speed. For example, when you shoot at 60 frames per second at 1/120th, you can sometimes get fuzzy images if you freeze the frame. However, I've shot at 1/240th at 60 frames per second, and I paused frames and I got clean, crisp images. So yeah, shutter speed has a lot to do with it. It's not only about frame rate. What are the extra advantages of the Ronin? The Ronin does a lot of the thinking for you. It does a lot of the movements for you. All you have to do is really work on your footing and how you walk. The Ronin does the rest. You don't have to worry about leveling the horizon. You don't have to do any of that. And plus, you distribute the weight using two hands instead of just one while using the GLIDECAM. And on the Ronin, you can add accessories and all that other stuff. The GLIDECAM doesn't really allow you to do that. Let's answer one more question and I gotta head out. Israel is saying, thank you so much. I had so many things running around through my mind about the cinematography issues. Thanks a whole lot. You're awesome. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to throw me a super chat if I helped you out, guys. That really helps benefit the channel. Work with 4K 25 or 1080p at 60. Right now, I work mainly with 1080p at 60. I love having that versatility in my footage to have it shoot in slow-mo. My next camera will be able to shoot at 4K at 60 frames per second, and that's what I'm going to be shooting on from now on. Alright? Alright guys, I gotta sign off. We've been online for about 54 minutes. This live stream, I'm going to leave it on so you guys can check it out and rewatch it and take some notes. And please share this channel, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Check out my website at www.capturethemomentum.com. Give this video a like. That would mean the world to me, and share it as well. Alright? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next live stream or in the next video. All right, bye guys.